Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 70 of Was I in the Wrong? Here on the Misty Morrison podcast, we love to read or listen, we love to give advice, and we love to help people look back on their stories with that 2020 vision to see how they could have handled the situations more gracefully. Before we get into our stories for the day, our usual housekeeping, whether you are new or returning, please remember to engage the content to help the channel grow. I am trying to build a dream. If you're listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review if you liked it. On YouTube or anywhere else, give it a thumbs up, a like, a heart, all the things. Share it with a friend. Comment with your thoughts on the stories down below. Subscribe for more and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. Long-form content goes live every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m. Short-form content goes live 3 times daily across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, into our stories for the day. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/AIO. I did my clicker wrong. AIO for thinking being a bridesmaid is the opposite of an honor. Repost edited. I, female 23, have been a bridesmaid twice for my sister and cousin, both times which I'm still pretty pissed about. I get it. The day is not supposed to be about anyone but the couple. But I feel like a lot of couples getting married make the day heavily involve other people, expect them to participate in whatever shenanigans they've included, and get mad when people say they can't or don't want to participate, usually due to lack of finances or time off work. The first wedding I was part of was for my cousin, female 25. She basically grew up with my family and was like a sibling, for reference. Her and I were extremely close growing up and had always talked about being each other's maid of honor one day. When the day finally came, she offhandedly asked me if I wanted to be a bridesmaid or something, as if she only just remembered I existed. I found out she'd asked a neighbor friend to be maid of honor instead. I was extremely hurt, but this was only the beginning. I cannot even express the sheer amount of time and work the bride expected out of us, the bridesmaids. We were all expected to plan and execute the bridal shower / bachelorette, both events. This included coordinating guest schedules, sending invitations, providing food, snacks, games, decorations, etc. It was also to come out of our own pockets. I'm still fuming over this. We spent our hard-earned money, took days off work, and all we got was a half-baked thanks. It was as if the bride felt as though we were all doing our duties, rather than doing a huge favor. Honorable mention, I was told to go buy 27 garlands of navy blue flowers and 27 garlands of greenery the day before the wedding. Where does one even find navy blue flowers? Probably Hobby Lobby. This theme... Wait, were they supposed to be real? I hope not. This theme went on till the wedding day, with many of the bridesmaids confessing their feelings and cutting off the friendship afterwards. Nobody wanted to say anything beforehand, at risk of making things about themselves. Her and I have since spoken, and she cannot for the life of her figure out why anyone is upset. She told me that this was what bridesmaids were supposed to do, and that we should have told her before. For the second wedding, all my sister, female 21, wanted was for me, the maid of honor, to plan a bachelorette. Okay, cool. No problem. I can plan a party. Until I found out the bride wanted to go on a road trip, which wouldn't have been so bad if one of the bridesmaids hadn't been from another state and would have had to take 5 days off work just to fly here. It would have been a similar distance for her to meet us at the location. She told the bridal party she felt terrible, but she just couldn't afford it. I reassured her best I could and said I was sure the bride would understand. This pissed me off on her behalf, which brings me to my final point. Since when did we all start expecting all of this out of people? Maybe it's just my personal opinion, but I always thought being a bridesmaid was supposed to be about supporting the bride, not about how much free labor they can get out of you. Am I overreacting? No, that's a lot. That is a lot. You are not overreacting. Oh, this is taking advantage of people. I agree I went to a wedding recently and I saw the goings-ons. I agree that being a bridesmaid is about supporting the bride. Primarily, the maid of honor is there to support the bride. Like at this wedding I went to, the maid of honor stayed pretty close to the bride. She helped her with all the things, helped gather up people for photos, and all kinds of things. This wedding, they didn't have any bachelor party showers beforehand. It was just a wedding. But the families helped with the setup and stuff. So I don't see why you're going to put all of this, a wedding day, a bachelorette party, a bridal shower, all on your bridesmaids. Are they the only people you have? I feel like and also you should be paying for it yourself, I think. I didn't have a shower or bachelorette party or anything either, so I don't know. But if you are the one expecting these parties, then I feel like you should be the one at least paying for them, probably planning them. If you want it to be the way that you want, you should plan it yourself. And also I think regardless of what your stance on bridesmaids duties is, what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to pay for, first, I don't think it should be a burden on your bridesmaids to be your bridesmaid. But that might be a controversial take, I'm realizing now. But first and foremost, whatever you think your bridesmaids' duty, your bridal party's duties are supposed to be, that needs to be made clear when you ask them to be a bridesmaid. They need to understand what they're agreeing to, because I would never, if I was asked to be, I never will be, but if I was asked to be a bridesmaid, I would never expect that I was going to have to spend my own money for invitations, food, snacks, games, decorations for someone else's party. No. If I independently decided I was going to throw somebody a party, yes, I would expect that expense would be on me. But when you, the bride, asked the bridesmaids to do this for you, it wasn't their idea, it was yours. And if you want them to pay for everything, that needs to be made clear up front, because you'll have a lot of people who are saying, no, I can't handle that when it comes to that much cost or even that much time off work, 5 days, a flight, a road trip. That's ridiculous that you'd expect somebody to do that for you just because it's your wedding. It's not that big of a deal to anybody except you. No. So no, you're not overacting. I definitely feel like a lot of people will have different takes on this. That's my take. Story number 2 is coming to us from r/AITAH. AITAH for locking my office after staff kept using it when I wasn't there. I'm a middle school counselor, and my office is one of the only private spaces I have all day. I meet with students one-on-one, talk to parents, and keep confidential notes in there, so I keep it organized and calm on purpose. The problem is that other staff started treating it like a break room whenever I was out. At first it was small stuff. I'd come back from lunch or a meeting, and a chair would be moved or my candy bowl would be half empty. Then I started finding teachers in there venting because my office was quieter than the lounge, which is always crowded. Every time it was, sorry, we were just in here for a minute. Then it got more inappropriate. My pens and tea started disappearing. Once I came back and found a teacher eating soup at my desk. Another time I found one of the assistant principals in my chair with the door shut, having a personal phone call. That really bothered me because this isn't just an office, it's a counseling space with confidential student stuff in it. So I sent a polite email asking staff not to use my office when I wasn't there unless we talked about it first, because I needed the space kept private and available for students. A few people apologized, others ignored it, and it kept happening. The last straw was last week when I came in early and found a few paras. Oh, what's that short for? Whatever. I can't think of it. A few paras in my office doing a birthday thing for one of the aides because the lounge was too crowded. There was sheet cake on my filing cabinet and frosting on the tray where I keep student paperwork. I cleaned it up, documented it, and talked to my principal. After that, maintenance rekeyed my door, and now I keep it locked whenever I'm not inside. People are annoyed. One teacher said I'm making the building less collaborative. The assistant principal made a comment about all of us needing to be flexible. My principal hasn't told me to unlock it, but did ask if there was a less dramatic way to handle it. If there is a less dramatic way, you make a recommendation. If you have a problem, come prepared with the solution. Maybe there was, but I also feel like I already tried the polite reminder route, and people kept acting like my office only counted as private when it was convenient for them. AITAH. No. No. I don't even know if I would have sent the email before asking for the door to be rekeyed. Because especially for a counseling space, I feel like that is different than just a general office. Like there's a certain environment, you're maintaining a certain level of cleanliness, not to mention all the confidential information you have. Regardless of whether it's in a locked file cabinet or not, you should be able to have confidence that your private, confidential, therapeutic space, the integrity of it is being maintained. And you can't be confident of that when people are in here throwing birthday parties. That is what the staff lounge is for. Yeah. I could see if you had come to an agreement with someone saying, oh yeah, you can use my office while I'm out for X specific purpose, that's fine. You have a video call, okay, yeah, you can use my office while I'm out. If you talked about it in advance, but people just decided, oh, she's not in there, cool, there's an open space that's private that we can use. No, that's not what it's for. I get being flexible and I get being willing to share your space for the most part, but I feel like since this is a counseling office, it's a little bit of a different scenario. And also when you made your boundaries clear, when you expressed it and people still just ignored you, they still kept pushing in, then I get why you had it rekeyed and put a lock on it. Is that probably look dramatic to the people it affects negatively? I'm sure it does. But they should understand that their behavior led to this outcome. You asked them to stop, they did it, you escalated. That is fair. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/am I the asshole. AITA for telling my wife my mother is correct and she needed to be a parent today and she effed it up. There's 0 punctuation in that and I'm already confused. Okay. I am waiting in the airport and I need to know if I effed up or not. This week my daughter, she is in middle school, lost a classmate. My daughter has not taken it well, and overall this is her first experience of someone she knows dying. The whole class was excused from school today, and the funeral is happening right now. I unfortunately could not be there. I tried, but my PTO was denied, and we cannot lose this job. I flew out Wednesday night, and I'm coming back now. Our daughter is a mess. She was friends with the girl that passed away. The plan was for my wife, she is unemployed at the moment, to take her to the funeral/mass and just be there. My wife is more spiritual than the average person and hates all things with the dead. Funerals, viewing, and so on. This one is only a mass funeral, no viewing. She believes in ghosts and will avoid funerals like the plague. We discussed it on Wednesday and she said she would take our kid and then go to the gravesite. I got a call from my daughter sobbing that she wasn't going to the funeral. My wife was refusing to take her. When I got her to answer my call, she told me she can't do it and she is scared to go. I called up my mom and asked her to pick up my daughter and take her to the funeral. My mom left work and took her. They're there now. Thank goodness. I got a call from my wife after with her crying because my mom tore her a new one. Good. She needed that. The gist was my mom called her a bad parent and that she is so effed up that she couldn't take our kids to the funeral of a classmate. She wants me to make mom apologize, and I told her my mom was right. Yes. That this was something that our daughter needed and she effed up. That she wasn't acting like a parent because of her fear of the dead. All she needed to do was stay through mass. We got into a huge phone call argument and she's calling me a huge dick. My mom is apparently getting texts also, and I told her to not let our daughter know that we are fighting, and if she could look after her for the day, she agreed. We got into a huge phone call argument, and she's calling me a huge dick. My mom is apparently getting texts, and I told her to not let our daughter know that we are fighting, and if she could look after her for the day, she agreed. Okay. I got confused about the last part, so it sounds like you asked your mom not to let your daughter know that you're fighting. Okay, because this is still a day of the funeral. So you asked mom to watch your daughter for the rest of the day. Okay. For a second, I thought it said you were asking your wife to watch the daughter for the day, and I was starting to wonder, like, is wife also mom? It seems like she is. Yes. Okay, from the title, I fully thought I was going to go the other way. Because normally I'm like, support your spouse. Wife or husband, whoever, support your spouse. At least publicly. But no, there's two major things wrong with this. No, there's a few major things wrong with this. I'm not even going to try and number it at first. First and foremost, your wife. She said she would. She said, yes, I will take her. This is what we're going to do. And then she backed out. She broke essentially her promise to the child. You and her child. This is so important to your daughter. I understand. She should have also understood that and been able to suck it up and be a grown up and do the hard thing. It would be one thing if she right up front was like, no, I can't do it. She didn't do that. She said, yes, I can, I will, and then backed out at the last possible minute. That's so messed up. Besides that, she also wouldn't answer your calls. Yeah, because it said when I got her to answer my call. So how many times did you have to call her before she was finally able to answer the phone and admit, I'm too scared, I can't do it? I feel like when you're a parent, you no longer get to say, I'm too scared. Because there's lots of things that are going to scare your kid. And you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the stronger person. And you have to be able, how is that kid going to be able to do hard things if you don't show them that you can do hard things? And what is middle school? So she's grown up. What is your daughter going to think about your wife now when she said she would help her with this important thing? She would take her, backed out the last minute, did not give her any alternatives, did not try to find someone else to take her. You are literally flying back from work and having to coordinate your mom leaving work in the middle of the day to go get her and take her. Props to your mom here. She's been incredible in the story for doing the right, for stepping up. Your mom pulled in as parent today. Your wife failed. Your mom's right. And I'm proud of your mom for not only leaving work to go take care of your daughter, but also for being bold enough to tell your wife, you messed up. Big time, you messed up. There's lots of things that you could get wrong, but don't think your daughter's not going to remember this. Like the first massive hard thing she had to go to and her mom failed her, grandma came to the rescue. I don't think she'll blame you, the dad. You didn't fail. You had no choice but to not be there. You made other plans for her. You made the plan that her mom would take her. And then mom failed. You're right. Your mom is right. Your wife messed up and she needs to admit that. The fact that she had the nerve to say that she wants your mom to apologize, as an adult, you have to be able to recognize when you're wrong. Wife, you're wrong. You messed up. Because not only did you back out at the last minute, you also didn't come up with a plan. You weren't upfront about any of this. So no, you're right. Your mom's right. Props to you both. I hope your daughter's okay now. This was 6 days ago. I hope she's doing better. Story number 4, I had to pause because it's just the title is the whole thing. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. And it says, I'm sick of taking calls for the old owner of my number. It has been 10 years. Debts, house inquiries, bills, the list goes on. Would I be the asshole if I give out the number of an estate agent with the same name to get them off my back? Yes. Yes. If the estate agent with the same name is not the same person, that's not fair. You're sick of taking the calls. Why are you going to put that off on somebody else that doesn't deserve it? Get a new number. Either start taking all the calls, explain to them, that is not this person's number. They have not had this number for years. Remove me from the calling list. Or, I presume this was posted 3 days ago, so I presume this is a cell phone. Block the numbers. Every time one comes through and it's not a call that you're expecting, or they leave a message and it was a creditor or a house inquiry or bill or something, block the number. It's not that hard to do. The fact that you would even consider Giving some random person's number is wild. You don't want it, but you're going to put that off on somebody else? No, that's wrong. Okay, let's see if we can finish off today with a palate cleanser. Okay, story number 5 is coming to us from r/random acts of kindness. I just wanted to share this with anyone it resonates with. Hi, buddy. I know sometimes life can get rough. To anyone who needs to hear it, I just wanted to say, you've made it through tough days before, and you're still here. That matters more than you might realize. Take a moment, slow down, be intentional about one small thing at a time. You don't have to do it all at once. You're going to be okay, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. I hope these words bring you a little comfort tonight, whoever you are, wherever you are. You dig? That was really nice. Okay, that is 5 stories. I'm really liking doing the palette cleansers. That is 5 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Misty Morrison podcast, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember, start each day with a grateful heart. Kindness changes everything, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.